hey, corny, cheesy. However, there is a difference between getting good stuff out of China and good quality stuff out of China. If you have a poor quality bulb and it blows, suddenly a bulb that could have cost you £5 or £10 at a retailer is now costing you a headlamp unit worth 100 quid. But brightness doesn't mean glare. Batteries are actually beginning to fail in summer. Wow. Summer is when they need looking after.
Hey Ben, guess who sponsors this episode?
PM Catalyst?
Yes, Europe's leading manufacturer of catalytic converters, DPFs and front pipes. What do?
They help vehicles...
Okay, never mind. Helping to keep vehicles running cleaner and greener. Welcome back to Garage Talk and Wrap, the podcast with me, Vicky.
And me, Ben. In this episode, we're talking to Henry Bisson, the marketing director at Ring Automotive. We discuss the growing debate around modern headlight brightness and whether today's lighting technology is improving safety or creating new challenges on the road.
We explore how lighting, dashcams and battery health all play a role in driver confidence, particularly as those darker autumn and winter months will unfortunately soon be upon us again.
Yes, the nights are drawing in already.
Yeah, I know, the longest day of the year has been. From glare concerns and regulation to preventative winter checks and future automotive tech, we'll be asking Henry for practical advice to help drivers stay safe and prepared.
Especially your mum.
Yes, we answered my mum's question. You're welcome, Mum.
There you go, Alison. Right, let's get into it. So today's guest, we have the marketing director from Ring Automotive. He's travelled down from Leeds to see us. Good morning, Henry. How are you?
Morning. I'm very well. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you for coming in.
Thank you for coming in. So obviously going to talk about lighting because we've come to the lighting season, unbelievably already. Can you give us a quick overview of your role first and how you ended up in the aftermarket?
So my role is I work for Ring Automotive as their marketing director. So I have a team to manage, but in effect, we're responsible for product launches into the market, making sure the campaigns are all on time and in full, and then all the other stuff that goes with promotions of the brand and the product. So exhibitions, the website, PR, that all falls under my remit and with my team. And so we plan that out for the year and make sure that our customers and end consumers, whether they be a mechanic or a motorist, know about what we're doing or trying to do. And we're in a crazy digital world now where it's all social media and short clips and trying to react and be responsive as quickly as we can. So yeah, that's where we are.
And did you have a passion for the aftermarket, or did you kind of fall into it, as so many of our guests say?
I would say I'm the latter. I fell into it, but once I fell into it, I would say I fell in love with it. Hey, corny, cheesy. But it's a brilliant market. Love the people, the kind of dynamic, all the way from going to like colleges and seeing apprentices, because you'll get apprentices who are silent and mute and don't want to say a thing. And then you'll get a really enthusiastic one who knows about cars, wants to talk to you about cars. And they've got some dynamism about them. They'll go on, they will. And then you go speak to mechanics and they're very down to earth and they'll tell you straight as an arrow what they think about your products, whether it's good or bad. Yep. And then you've got our customers, the people in the middle, the motor factors, the distributors, who, it's all about the relationship. It's about service and making sure they can trust us to deliver for them. So it's a great market to be in.
The one thing with your products, though, is that you're almost not selling to the motor factories. You're kind of selling to the end users, aren't you? Because it's a product that is on the outside of a vehicle. A lot of your products are on the outside of the vehicle, and people like them to look nice, etc. So you're almost kind of educating the end user as well. Yeah,
there's a lot of pull-through that's needed as well. So with some lighting products, it's definitely about educating the consumer, the motorist. If you're a Land Rover 4x4 enthusiast and you're wanting a light bar, we're talking to them about what our light bars do, because they're not going to go to an auto electrician and go, what light bars do you have? Yeah. It's them specifying and them getting it fitted. And then the same with lighting upgrades. I would largely say mechanics and garages aren't necessarily the best salespeople.
No.
They don't feel comfortable upselling. So we have to kind of educate the motorist who wants better lighting to then make the decision to go either to a retailer or a garage to say, can you fit these type of products?
That's a different outlook from a lot of people in this industry.
So obviously Ring and OSRAM are very closely, we always hear them together, but the two big brands, some might not know how they are connected. Do you want to just tell us what the connection is between Ring and OSRAM?
Yeah, we hate each other.
No. Who pays the wages? Which is your preference?
Oh, better say OSRAM then. So OSRAM and Ring were competitors for years and years and years, and then in 2019, OSRAM acquired Ring Automotive. And we've been a part of their group for 7 years now.
Yeah, 7 years.
So
it's fair to say it's not a group; it's more of a partnership, isn't it?
So the way the dynamic works is in the UK. We have both OSRAM and Ring as lighting products, and we give a choice to the consumer and the customers. And then from a non-lighting product portfolio, it is generally Ring, or has been, but there are more and more OSRAM products coming in, such as inspection lamps, dash cameras, solar chargers, wiper blades. However, in Europe, where OSRAM brand is and the Ring brand isn't, we in the UK are the experts for the non-lighting products. So our product management team, our marketing team provide all of that information, all of that content to OSRAM Europe, or head office in Munich, to then disseminate around the world.
Do you speak any other languages? Do you translate that?
No. It's appalling. It's embarrassing. You join these global meetings and there's people from all around the world and they're all speaking English and they're understanding the nuances and laughing at the jokes, and you can just say Guten Tag. It's absolutely cretinous.
It is bad. We can be so lazy, can't we? But the English is amazing.
You're well known for quality products.
Mm-hmm.
We personally have had a tire inflator of yours for a fair few years now. We've got a dash cam. Your products are quality, aren't they? They last for
you're
ages.
As we say, we never rest on our laurels. The customer will tell us if they're quality or not.
I'm telling you, your products are quality.
We like to, I think you can, with Temu and tariffs now in China, the UK market and the European market is awash with Chinese products. Just like we always, we not going to deny it. We manufacture our stuff in China because that's where the global manufacturing center is. However, there is a difference between getting good stuff out of China and good quality stuff out of China. And I think we have prided ourselves on making sure that we have strict quality control processes in place, not just for the performance of the product, but actually its durability.
Yeah.
Its robustness. Is it fit for purpose? Is it going to withstand? Does the consumer feel like they're getting value for money because of how long a product lasts? That's something which I think most people forget when they're buying online.
Yeah.
Pictures can be glossed up, they can be photoshopped, they can be had all sorts of treatments to them, and then they get something through Temu or eBay or Amazon, and
looks completely different. And also has the feel of, wow, this could just do one thing, and then it's. And I think we initially had the fear like, we've got to drive our prices down, got to compete with this, and it's actually like, no, you got to hold our ground and actually just go, look, we want people who want to pay once and pay for good quality, not pay numerous times for poor quality.
I can assure you that your tire inflator has been thrown around.
Happy days.
We've used it a lot of times.
Yeah, we use it. Yeah, but they are thrown around. That's what they are.
People will put them in the boot and they'll bounce around in there. They've got to withstand that sort of everyday, not punishment. It's not like someone's getting a sledgehammer to it, but it's that everyday world use. You've got to be realistic about it.
And this earlier this year, we found out it's very flexible because we've got an EV now.
All right,
and
okay.
Of course, your socket is in the boot.
Yeah.
And but the fact is that I don't know whether you thought about it at the time, but you thought about it because the cable's long enough that it can reach the front tyres. Even we've got a Skoda SUV. So
nice. Well, I think if you think about tyre inflators, one of the things that we're doing there is because of actually 12-volt sockets are probably going to largely be taken out because it's like what are they used for now? It's going cordless, and cordless models coming in, and the size of vehicles, they're getting bigger. Just think about like Audi Q series is a huge like tanks, and I always remember seeing ages ago the BMW X6 come out on the market. I was like, what is that?
The best.
It's an absolute unit.
Cheers.
So Ring has been around for about 50 years?
Yeah, we celebrated our 50th birthday in 24.
Amazing. Do you think drivers are more safety conscious now than they were back then? Obviously, you weren't around.
No, yeah. I would like to think so, but if I'm honest, I would say probably not.
Okay.
I think the fact that we still have to have campaigns about drink driving, which suggests that there's still people who will chance it.
Yeah.
I think if you look at tyre safety, which we're involved as a charity, I know there's lots of people like Sophie Lydon who are massive advocates and promoting it, and they see it at the raw end. The amount of tyres that she posts on LinkedIn and everywhere else where they're bald or they're down to the core, and you think, how are people, what? They're not safety conscious when that happens.
But other things they are, like the message around kids' seats and, that thing happens. But then it strikes me as an anomaly that you don't check your tyres. That's just mental. I don't think modern vehicles, now when you look under the hood, that's American, under the bonnet, sorry. People look at it and go, what do I do? Where do I go? Because you've got the covers, you've got, it's very kind of daunting. It doesn't look simple. And therefore I don't think people, it's do it for me, not do it myself anymore.
Just on tyres very quickly, you should be checking their pressure when they're cold.
Yeah. And people forget that. That's why we advocate our tyre inflators, but people would happily drive to a petrol forecourt where the tyres are warmed up. They're going to get incorrect pressure reading as a result. And they're also got to use a machine that you don't know if it's vandalized or not by the time you get there. So there's safety conscious. I think it's been forced upon us in a good way. Take seatbelts, for example. If we hadn't had seatbelts put into as a mandatory thing and then fines issued, people would probably drive around without seatbelts.
No, you're right.
I think drink driving, mobile phones, people still, you see it all the time. They're all on their mobile phones. We know you get fined.
But you can have your mobile phone on a big screen now.
Yeah.
Basically, for your media and things like that. So you get your phone on the screen.
But how often do people want a text message, they're WhatsApping or whatever, and they're trying to do it down by the side. You see it. And therefore, from a safety conscious point of view, I think safety standards have risen, but it's been given to us. Not necessarily motorists have gone, do you know what? I will be the better person.
I don't often want to talk to people in general. So when I'm driving, I just want the music on, to be fair.
All you want to do is talk to people.
Yeah. So Ring covers lighting, dash cams, battery chargers, workshop equipment. I think I've gone through most of the range there.
We do a whole host of stuff. Dash cameras actually moved now to OSRAM, again, because vision and visibility and looking at that way. But we do towing, a range of towing products, a load of car accessories. Everyone coming into spring season, spring clean, people will be changing their car mats. That is by far the most popular car accessory.
Oh, wow.
It's insane. People change their car mats so often because they did. Let's face it, if you've been dog walking or whatever in the woods and you've stepped in some dog muck and you bring it into your car, you're not going to spend hours cleaning that mat. You're going to pick it up and throw it out and get a new set.
I mean, I did that once because of Ben, but
So
Scotland,
there are that we do a range of mats, wheel trims. There's in-car kind of power cables and all that kind of ancillary stuff that we do as well. But largely we're known for jump starters, tyre inflators, and obviously lighting.
But where do you draw the line?
There's a lot of
there's a lot of products, but then you think about, if I was to name drop some competitors, Laser, Sealy and Draper, thousands and thousands of SKUs.
Yeah.
So we're not in the same ballpark as them by any means, but we're very focused on what we do and try and do that to the best of our ability.
But I personally don't see you as a competitor to them. I see you more as so you've got the likes of Laser Tools and Draper, as you say, but then you've kind of got the likes of the manufacturers, and I see you more on the manufacturer side of things than the kind of the quantity tool side of thing. Yeah,
it's just I think they will have a complete set, so they will do tool chests and spanners and wrenches and all stuff, which we won't touch, but they'll have a battery charger, they'll have a OBD2 reader in, they'll have all that stuff in there with us, but it's not their focus. Their focus is selling the bundle, the whole we can look after you one-stop solution. We're trying to focus on we'll do the core product and we'll do it well.
Are you tired of chasing car parts over the phone? PartSync connects trade buyers with trusted suppliers in one platform. No calls, no delays, just parts. Get real choice, new, used or genuine OEM. Compare brands, warranty, price and delivery. Suppliers, connect with active trade buyers ready to buy your stock. PartSync, bringing the parts industry together. Book your demo at partsync.co.uk.
This isn't background noise. This is Garage Talk, the UK's independent automotive voice, now across 3 platforms. Garage Talk Radio streaming online on Alexa and catch up on Mixcloud. Garage Talk Unwrapped, the podcast, available on all good podcast platforms. Garage Talk Unwrapped, the video magazine. Watch and subscribe on YouTube. Breaking news, big conversations, real workshops, real stories. If you're in the trade, you should already be listening. Search Garage Talk. Turn it up, get involved.
let's start with headlights though. So why should drivers care about the type and quality of bulbs they're using?
Very good question. Most people probably don't think about headlights, to be honest, so why would they care? For me, it is about safety. Lighting is a safety critical component.
Yep.
It helps you see, but also helps other road users see you. And if you fit a poor quality bulb that burns through very quickly, your expectations of how long that bulb would last means that you could be driving around without a headlamp working, or actually just having a dull headlamp, and therefore you're not seeing things or being able to react to obstacles early. The worst case scenario is it's going to cost you money as a consumer because you're constantly replacing stuff, and the time, just the fatigue of having to do that all the time. The other aspect is if you have a poor quality bulb and it blows in your headlamp because it's not made with the right materials or it's made with cheap materials, suddenly a bulb that could have cost you £5 or £10 at a retailer is now costing you a headlamp unit worth 100 quid.
Now, we have had a question in from a listener, Vicky's mum.
Okay. Pressure on.
Yes, pressure's on now. But she says that headlights have never felt, from a driver approaching another set of headlights, never felt so much glare, never felt brighter. So we'll go for the brightness first. Are they brighter than they ever were? And what's actually changed?
So there's two things with brightness. Yes, I think they are getting brighter, but brightness doesn't mean glare. So brightness is about the amount of light you can measure at on a certain point. Mm-hmm. So when we've ever sold upgrade bulbs, it's not 220% more light everywhere. It's 220% at a particular point that the driver needs to see, and it's about the 75 meter point. So it's helping the driver see better because there's more light in that particular spot. Where it goes off to the left and you're trying to illuminate the hedgerow and the pavement, you don't want 220% more light lighting up a hedgerow.
No.
Brilliant, I can see a fox, great. That's not what it's about. It's about putting it where it's needed. The topic of glare is people see brighter bulbs coming into the market and think, oh, there's glare. I think there's brighter bulbs that we know that we manufacture. They have to conform to ECE regulations. They are not allowed to cause glare, otherwise they wouldn't get that ECE rating. What's causing glare, I think, is a myriad of things, and I appreciate it's a big topic. The RAC have done surveys and they've pumped it out onto the news channels, and they're doing a good job of it, and they're raising it, and they're right to, because I do think there is a element of glare, but no one knows what's causing it. Light is a very subjective thing. It's perception, and you can have poor quality bulbs, which again, if the filament in the headlamp bulb is slightly off, not to conformity, that will cause glare because it's not taking the light back into the headlamp to be put back onto the road as it should be. People may be fitting LED bulbs, which are not road legal in the UK because of the fact that they are directional light. They don't create a halo light effect. They normally are. If you think about an LED, it's just a very straightforward beam. Yeah. So again, the reflector in the back of the headlamp doesn't work with it very well, and it scatters light, and that causes glare. Even though, I'll come on to it later, LED technology is improving vastly. There's poor quality bulbs from the manufacturing, but there's also alignment. Not wanting to throw anyone under the bus, but most people probably, when they fit a bulb, don't check it's actually aligned correctly afterwards. Or if they've gone to a retailer, they don't have any alignment equipment to check that it's actually aligned. Whereas if you went to a garage, and especially in MOTs, they have the beam blade defenders to actually check whether the light is aligned correctly. So if people are doing the fitting themselves or they're relying on retailers, that vital check afterwards that it's actually aligned correctly isn't happening. And we've seen a growth in that. And, I'm not trying to take away business from people. The fit for me is a great thing, and the WeFit service and all the rest of it, it's great. But they should probably check afterwards that it's actually pointing in the right direction.
Yeah, do the whole job.
And I think one of the other aspects is, and this hasn't been tested, is the whiteness of light. So not to confuse things, I talked about LED bulbs, but you have LED light units. And LED light units are fitted at the point of manufacture. They are an homologated unit as a single entity. There's no replaceable part. So if you smash it, good luck, you're costing you a fortune. Yeah. But it's been homologated. It's road legal. No vehicle coming off the manufacturing line can drive off with not road legal parts and equipment in. So the beam pattern on them is accurate. However, our perception is that they are producing a very whiter light, and that whiter light was designed as a safety feature because the human eye operates around 6,000 Kelvin color temperature, which is daylight. So they're producing whiter light to mimic that daylight, to reduce eye strain, to reduce that kind of tiredness when driving at night. But equally, I think, and this is only my opinion, no test has been done on it, because I notice it as well. You're driving along a motorway or a dual carriageway, I think you tend to naturally notice a whiter light coming past you, your eyes drawn to it. Yeah. You look at it more. And if you're looking at it more, then the perception is I'm seeing more light, I'm getting glared. If you go back to the old days when you used to travel on holidays in France and they had to paint your headlamps yellow.
Or there were stickers that
those stickers, the beam benders, they're still going. That was, I think you don't notice the orangey light as much. So therefore you drive past it thinking that was safe. Whereas a white light is causing maybe people to perceive they're being glared when actually they're not, because they're just noticing light more. There's other issues like ride height. Vehicles are getting higher off the ground. They're shining into cabins. So if from behind your cabin fills, but then people have been, they have the dip windscreen, rear view mirrors. So there are mitigating factors. Technology is another thing. My car has auto dip, but that's not as good as the human.
It's not always reliable, is it?
If I'm driving on a country road, for instance...
It's probably better than this human, to be fair, Henry. I
am his automatic.
But it was designed to be a safety feature so that people didn't have to remember to go from dip to main. But I know if I'm driving along a country road and there's a corner, I can see in the hedgerow it being illuminated by an oncoming car. I can then take preemptive measures, dip my headlamp before I get to the corner and put it back onto main beam after I've passed the car. With auto dip functions or the matrix headlights, which cut off certain pixels, they need to physically see a car in front of it to react. Otherwise, when do they dip? They need to have that cue. And there's moments of maybe a second, split second, whatever it happens to be, where they don't dip because they're registering the car in front and people go, full beam, I'm being glared again. And I think the EC standards UN body is looking into that, actually, kind of how can you make that safer.
Wow. I hope that's answered your mum's question.
I think so. I mean, there's so many different...
So it's a myriad thing, but I think it's also perception, people not wanting to get shot if I ever meet your mum, but what's her, people who are of an older age, I say I get shot. People's eyes diminish. I'm suddenly having to wear glasses for reading and all the rest of it now. So therefore, the harshness of maybe that whiter light that they're noticing more is having more of an impact on people who have older eyes. That's such a thing you can say.
No, that's fine. But I guess to try and avoid causing that glare, but if you want better visibility, it's making sure that you have legal bulbs. It's
fitted correctly.
Yeah, fitted correctly, aligned, and I suppose there's not much you can do if your car has the LED unit. What did you call it again?
There's LED homologated light units.
I didn't want to try and say that.
Brilliant.
But the other things people can do is, if they are really suffering, there are driving glasses, nighttime driving glasses, which have a yellow tint to try and dull that whiteness effect. That may help reduce the perception of glare. But just also having clean windscreens.
Yeah.
Not getting that light refracting around your windscreen, that can be an issue.
That's massive, I think. So do you think manufacturing regulators are keeping pace with this, or do you think there's a way to go? Do you think, obviously you're involved in that kind of conversation?
I think the manufacturers are ahead of, their technology is ahead of the legislation.
Okay.
So in the UK, we have a very, I wouldn't say complicated, it's just bizarre regulations around LED bulbs.
Yeah.
LED bulbs for a large amount of time were deemed off-road use only, not road legal. Totally get that. That's fine. So green laning, track days, that sort of fun stuff.
Yeah.
Then LED homologated light units came in and everyone wanted to have that white light, that styling, that desirability. Halogen bulbs, from a performance point of view, could get somewhere close to it, but not match it. LED bulbs clearly could, so people started fitting LED bulbs. As a result, LED technology is getting better and better to the point where we have non-road legal LED bulbs in our range, which I say would actually be road legal. They would pass the manufacturing point. The beam pattern is very good. But you can't fit any LED bulb, even if it was road legal in the UK, because of the regulations. However, in Germany, in Europe, they found a loophole, and our parent company OSRAM have produced it's called the Nightbreaker LED bulb, and it is road legal on specific vehicles, and you have to have a reference chart to make sure your vehicle is specific to it. So LED technology and bulbs is coming, and in fact, I think last year the EC regulation governing body allowed H11, but H11's on fog lamps, so it's not really relevant. There are a few Toyotas which I think have H11 as headlamp bulbs, and now they've just done the C5W, which is normally a festoon number plate light, which is going to be EC. So the LED bulbs are coming, but it's just the regulations are taking much longer to get there.
At Ben, we provide free health and wellbeing support for life to automotive industry people and their families. Whether you're struggling with stress, money worries, or your mental health, help is just a call away at 08081 311 333, or visit ben.org.uk to chat or access tips and tools. When quality matters and emissions count, demand precision. BM Catalysts is Europe's leading manufacturer of aftermarket hot-end emissions products. From catalytic converters and OE-level components to expert technical training available on Garage Pro, BM delivers best-in-class manufacturing, rigorous performance, and full compliance. Need parts you can trust? Visit bmcats.com. Partner with BM. Drive profit, exceed expectations. So dashcams, I know you said that's kind of gone over to OSRAM now.
Yep.
Where do they sit in the safety conversation, do you think? Are they essential now or still optional? Do you think everybody should be fitting them?
Oh, I think they're optional. I think even when you have them fitted, you forget they're there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You only want the footage when there's an incident
Yes.
or there's something to capture. I don't think people are driving around trying to cause accidents to get the footage, if you know what I mean. And I think it's therefore very much optional. I think if you've been stung by a car accident or an incident where someone's done the whole, pulling in front of you and breaking, what do they call that? Like kind of rear end.
Cash for claim? Or
Yeah.
claim for, yeah.
If you've been stung by something like that, then maybe as a protective thing, I'm not going to have that happen to me again. I don't know. For fleets, I think it's probably, if you're a fleet manager, more of a safety thing that you do want to understand how your vehicles are being looked after by the drivers. But for an individual motorist, I think it's optional. I think may give you reassurance when you're on the roads, but I think, I don't know, you actually have a dash cam, like you said. Do you think about, I feel safer now I've got one?
Yeah,
or is
I do actually. I think because of the cash claims, we watch a lot of police intercepts and motor cops as well.
Yeah.
And we've seen the incidents on there, but I personally do feel a bit safer with it protected.
We were going to ask you, do you think we're seeing driving behaviour change because people know they're being recorded? I don't think so, but
I've seen it also on those police interceptors where someone has done the whole braking hard to try and get rear-ended, and suddenly the person's pointing at the camera and then they drive off. They drive off as quickly as can.
So that's a good reason.
They've totally forgotten that these cameras exist, and then they're like, this has gone badly wrong, and drive off. So I don't think it's changed driving behaviour and habits. I think it just helps the person who's ever involved in an incident that wasn't their fault protect themselves and maybe get the insurance payout quicker.
That's the reason I want one.
It's the ones where they throw the bike back to the car and then lie on the floor and things like that. No. Okay, so how closely linked are lighting, battery health and cold weather breakdowns?
Oh, well, battery health and cold weather breakdowns is clearly linked. I think lighting used to be linked in the sense if you left your lights on, you'd drain your battery and then you'd be utterly screwed. But most cars now have that kind of welcome home lighting thing where they leave the lights on for a little bit and then when you centrally lock the thing, even if you've got automatic lights on, they turn it off.
Ben always thought I hadn't locked the car because the lights stayed on for a few minutes.
Yeah.
So what you unlocked it again and then left the lights on.
Unlock.
So I don't think lighting necessarily is affecting the health of batteries anymore. The one thing I would say is the battery power is probably affecting lights because of the amount of vehicle electronics now needed on a vehicle. Batteries, we all say vehicles are 12 volt, cars are 12 volt. the batteries are typically maybe needing to kick out 14 volt, 15 volt. And if you get 14 volts going into a 12 volt bulb, that's going to burn through quicker and therefore not great for the user. So it works that way. The one thing I would say about battery care is while in winter and cold weather, that's when people notice their batteries aren't working because the whole cold cranking, you need more power. Batteries are actually beginning to fail in summer.
Wow.
Summer is when they need looking after. By the time winter comes, yes, you can help your battery get back to some sort of recovery level with a smart charger or trickle chargers to top up. But actually in summer is when you should be charging your battery to maintain health.
Does that answer the next question? You asked it and see if there's a different answer.
It's all to do, I say like I know what I'm talking about here, but it's
You do.
it's to do with the physics of the battery components. Because of heat, the energy means they're all active. The ions are reacting all the time. So they've got nothing left by the end of summer, if you like. They've dissipated all their energy because they're constantly active. And that's why it's harder in cold weather to get going, hence why you have cold cranking amps. But if you've had a hot summer, like countries like Australia and South Africa and stuff, their batteries are going all the time because they are exhausted due to the heat of the weather and stuff.
Wow. So would you say that's the most common winter issue?
Yeah.
Or is it, yeah?
In the UK, I would say you can pinpoint it as well to an exact moment in time when people will break down.
Wow.
Straight after Christmas, New Year, and they haven't used their car all that Christmas period, and it's first day back at work. So January the 3rd, January the 4th.
Look forward to that, everyone.
It's cold, people haven't used their battery, and the RAC and the AA will be called out everywhere to kind of, oh, my battery's flat.
So this podcast is going out at the end of July, which is perfect because you should be checking your battery now,
Yes.
ready for the winter. Ideal. We're just a service, we are. So where's the automotive tech heading? Smarter lighting, connected cameras, battery management?
I would say all of that. The aftermarket has been, I think, a spearhead for a lot of light technology that has come into vehicles, because when people wanted something in their cars, they did it themselves. If you take sound systems, great one. Everyone remembers the sound systems of subwoofers and all the rest of it. Now, if you go into any you just don't have that same breadth of choice or any, because the manufacturers realize people want sound, and now you have Apple Play and Android, and it's all connected. It's not the same thing as having a big subwoofer in the back and all the rest of it. I get that, but the manufacturers are learning from what the aftermarket want, and they perfect it. If you think about interior lighting, we used to sell a lot of interior lighting for styling, like footwell lighting or even door handle lighting. Now you can get the vehicle manufacturer's brand appears on the bottom of
on the floor when you unlock it. We've got that.
It was originating from the aftermarket and people finding little quirky things to do has now come in. And I would say from a lighting perspective, it's actually now probably the other way. The technology is racing ahead. So from an OSRAM perspective, they have all sorts of intricate LED headlamp slim units coming in. But the one big thing I would say from an OSRAM perspective and our company perspective is actually using light as a sensor. Yes, with the electrification of vehicles, that's great. But equally, I mean, just the electrification of vehicles internally. We talked about the amount of electrics in vehicles. You have now all these systems where your hands aren't on the steering wheel. Put your hands back on the steering wheel. You're tired, take a rest because of. And you're looking around, going, "Where the hell are the cameras? Where are?" It's actually just sensing.
All sensors,
It's light shining at you and then going back. Wow. And there's a lot of that, even not just in the cabin. So, OSRAM has worked on, especially with e-vehicles. They're heavy. They're really quite heavy stuff, and they need lots of dampening down to make sure the suspension and all the rest of it. So they have like sensors for chassis control now. So it's all that sort of technology where if stuff's coming out of place and sensing is adjusting, it's that automatic magnetic reaction light sensing. And the biggest example of that is I can say LiDAR is going to come in.
Yeah.
So similar to radar, which is obviously done by radio waves, LiDAR is done by light waves and is particularly good in very dark, non-lit places. So in Scandinavia, you're driving to the Arctic Circle.
Yeah.
You ain't going to have streetlights all the way there.
No,
not.
So they have LiDAR where it sends light out, which you don't see, and it waits to hit something like a moose or a deer, shines it back, and you get a visible thing. So that's where it's come from, but it will appear with helping self-drive vehicles. So that's the next bit of key technology.
Just taking you back a little bit there, you said about the branding, the lighting of the branding. A marketing director in the automotive, that must be a mind-blowing to where you used to be. Like, you're like, wow.
Oh, the whole like blow up on social media around cars, and it's really good from a marketing point of view to help define who your core audience are.
Yeah.
Who, yes, you can talk to just the mechanics, but you can also talk to very selective groups. And we could say niche, but they're not niche. They're all general. Like, you can have Land Rover enthusiasts. You can have, VW camper wagon enthusiasts. You can have certain, aerated engine people. You can have all of this stuff, and you can go and talk to these groups, but they're all interested in the same thing. They're all interested in looking after their car. It's just you're talking to a different group of people who have a different slight interest in the automotive industry. And you can find them all, and they're all willing to engage. And as long as you are talking their lingo and their language and not trying to sell all the time, I think that's the big thing.
Yeah.
If you're trying to like engage with their passion and be on the same level as them, you'll get engagement.
Yeah. Definitely good for targeting social media. So what excites you most about what Ring and OSRAM have planned next?
I'm interested in that kind of conversation about the brand development, about where that's going. I think there's, OSRAM as a parent company have been quite good. They've left us alone, and that's, not because they just didn't care. It's just kind of like, what you're doing, but we'll take your stuff.
Good.
I think equally it's exciting to see what we can do with the brands. Like, where's OSRAM going to be in 5 years' time in the UK? Changing it from being just known as a lighting company potentially to, more of the non-automotive products, but equally from Ring, where are we going to maintain our kind of interest and relationship? But technology-wise, a lot of it will be that kind of lighting topic I discussed earlier about sensing in the vehicle, and helping drivers just feel safer. Again, it goes back to your safety question. We are giving motorists safer equipment, safer technology. But then equally, from a mechanic's point of view, I think we have to learn what the mechanic of the future is going to require from us, from workshop equipment. Inspection lamps, yes, they'll always need an inspection lamp because it's dark in garages and working in bonnets and tight places and stuff, and they need light. But what other bits of equipment are they going to need from us that we can supply to help them do their work quicker and more effectively?
Is that your biggest message for mechanics and workshops? Talk to us.
Yeah, I would say so. I think they're at the pointed edge. They're seeing the issues that are most common. You talking about social media, you see it when mechanics are asked, what car would you have and what car would you not have? They immediately know, based on the regular visits or regular issues, so they know the car park out there. They know what issues are having. It can't just be all driver caused. If there's regular issues with a particular brand and model coming in all the time, it's like, well, stay away from that one and I'll have this one. So knowing what the mechanics know and getting it out of their head and sharing it with us and how we can help them then, vital.
Brilliant. Well, Henry, thank you for joining us on Garage Talk and Wrap the podcast. It's been really insightful, especially around modern lighting. I'll be sure to feed back to my mum about that question.
I'll just watch telly with the dad while she's doing that.
Okay. Driver safety and preparing for the darker months, which will be with us soon again, unfortunately. We appreciate you sharing your expertise and practical advice with our listeners. Before we wrap up, though, where can listeners find more about Ring Automotive's lighting and very varied product range?
So our website is obviously the best place to go to, which is just ringautomotive.com, but we also have our Facebook and Instagram. If they want to understand what we're doing, there's social handles there. Just search Ring Automotive.
And is the social the best place to feed back to you?
Yeah, social we react to all the time, but equally we're not that big a company that stuff gets lost in the ether. So if you do put stuff on the contact form and send it in to us, you'll get a response.
Thank you very much,
Brilliant.
Henry.
Thank you, Henry.
No worries. Thank you for your time as well. Much appreciated.
What do you think?
Well, I think my mum will be happy.
Yes.
I think it'll answer some questions for her. I don't know whether she'll buy the tinted glasses for driving at night time, though. I still don't think she'll bother.
I don't think she'll drive at night time.
She barely drives in the daytime.
Yeah, it's one trip every 2 weeks to her sister's house.
Pretty much.
I mean, it is interesting because as technology advances, it does bring issues with glare and the lighting and
the brightness and the way that they're constructed. But I think if you don't know, then you are just going to get frustrated and think, why are they getting bright? Why are they just trying to blind everyone? Interesting about the dash cams as well, whether they do actually improve driver safety or not. I think the consensus was a kind of no, but it gives a bit of it gives a bit of peace of mind to the driver in case something does happen.
I can't believe insurance still don't ask if you got a dash cam.
Yeah,
but insurance they're not interested in doing it cheaper.
Oh, of course not,
because they know they're going to get the claims whether there's a dash cam there or not. But the key is, I think I think
it's worth having one.
It is.
Just like I say, just for that peace of mind.
Especially with these people that ram their bikes back into and things like that and try and claim compensation you've seen on the internet. That's it for today. Thank you very much for joining us. Right, a huge thank you to Henry from Ring. You can find out more at ringautomotive.com.
And of course, another massive thank you to BM Catalyst for being this episode's sponsor, the UK and Europe's leading manufacturer of catalytic converters, DPFs and front pipes. You can find out more at bmcats.com.
Finally, thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed today's conversations, don't forget to follow Garage Talk Unwrapped on your favourite podcast platform and YouTube. And also hit the bell so you never miss a new episode.
Next time, we're speaking to Ellen from the charity Ben about how they help people working in the automotive industry and their families, and attitudes towards mental health in the industry.
Which is very appropriate because we've just announced this morning the 24-hour radio challenge. Radiothon. For more details, go to garagetalkonline.co.uk. August the 20th, 8 a.m. till 8 a.m. on the 21st.
Yeah, we're asking for donations. All the money is going to Ben.
Yep.
And this Ben, our Ben, will be on the radio for 24 hours.
Yes, while the rest of us...
We're just flitting in and out.
Flittering in and out, having a nice kip every now and then.
Yeah.
I'll be in a sleeping bag and PJs. I've got a sleeping bag or PJs, but I'll be in some.
You haven't, have you know?
No, I'm not PJ. I just sit in my shorts.
Brilliant. Can't wait. Anyway, well, you're welcome for that mental image, everyone. We'll see you next time.
See you. Bye.